Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Cunanan. Tonight's topic is Must Love Dogs 2015, and joining us is a director of Philippine Canine Club Incorporated, Mr. Simon Sim. Mr. Sim,
Yes.
welcome back to our second
Thank
segment.
you. Yes.
Okay. Very nice talk we had in the first segment about dogs and what kind of dog breed will fit a certain person's personality and environment and domain and all that. Now, let's talk about choosing a dog and buying a dog. For most people, and I have to say, guilty as charged, most people, most people buy dogs at a pet shop because, they go to the mall, they see a cute dog in the window, oh, I want this dog, blah, blah, and then they end up buying the dog. Now, what do you think, what is your opinion of people, of pet shops in general, as retailers of dogs?
Okay. Well, we have visited some pet shops. We've seen them. Some of them have kept their puppies very clean. Some of them, they take time to look after the welfare of the puppies. But the problem is, it's the buyer. A lot of the buyer, when they see a puppy, especially a new one, a new buyer, a new dog enthusiast, they don't have any clue on what they want.
Yes.
And a lot of them, they don't also know what are the characteristics of this breed that they're buying or how it even really looks. So I think as far as pet shops is concerned, you need to get more information about the dogs you're buying. And hopefully, this pet shop, they could give you as much information as you want. For example, if you're buying a beagle puppy and you start asking about the health concern, about the parents, they should be able to give you some information. Because a lot of the pet shop, they will just give you the papers and say, oh, this puppy is from this guy.
Yes, and they say, okay, it's got a pedigree.
That's
Here are
true.
the papers from PCCI,
from
PCCI.
PCCI papers,
Yes.
from this popular kennel.
Yes,
And
these are the ancestors. It's got some
Champion
champions,
bloodlines.
etc.
Yes. I think what the buyer should do is, hopefully the pet shop would allow you to verify this information with the breeder.
Yes, yes.
But from what I know, especially with the show people, they avoid selling puppies to the pet shops.
Okay, okay.
In fact, in my case, I would rather wait for the right home to buy my puppy than to the pet shops.
Why is that?
Number two, one is because once the pet shop gets a puppy, you don't know where the puppy goes. And in my case, especially the good puppies, I'd like to know how they turn out in the future.
And I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, as a breeder, you develop a certain attachment to
With
your
the puppies,
pups.
yes.
Okay, I mean, they're like your quote-unquote
mga
children,
anak mo yun eh.
almost, or
Oo.
grandchildren like that, no? So
Yes.
I guess you develop that kind of bond, no, with your
And-
dog and its pups.
And like with us, since we show dogs and everything, we want to see how these certain lines develop. In the future, if you want to use, let's say maybe then I sold the puppy.
Yes.
In the future, I need a line from this dog again. You know where to get it.
Yes, yes. And in the first segment, we talked about that papers and
Yes.
verifying whether the papers really are genuine or
Yes.
really do belong to a certain dog. Because, in my case, for instance, I went to a pet shop and I bought a dog and they gave me the papers, but I mean, the guy who sold the dog to me didn't really know. I mean, he was
Which
really too
one? Yes.
informative, but I had no way of knowing whether this dog really belonged to this set of papers. It could have been, for all I know, it could have been switched. No? So what is PCCI doing to address things like this?
That is why that's one of the problem we have a lot of. That's one of the problem we get a lot of complaints with. But unfortunately, there are so many pet shops that we cannot police all of them.
Yes, yes.
But we are trying our best to control where these papers are going. In fact, sometime 2 years ago, we were able to apprehend, together with the law enforcers, people selling.
Wow.
And they were charged.
Forged.
No, they actually, what they did is, they bought a puppy
Yeah.
from different other people,
Yes.
and the puppy died.
And then they
did,
switched.
they sold the puppy. They are selling the papers
The papers. Yes.
as business.
Yes.
They're selling it, and we made an entrapment with that.
Oh wow! Wow.
Because remember, when you get a papers from the PCCI, it doesn't mean you own it.
Yes.
Because the pedigree the pedigree,
Okay.
it's owned by the PCCI.
And it can be big business because some of these dog breeds can cost
That's true.
quite a bit of money. Example, here in the Philippines, what is the most, on the top range, what are the expensive dog breeds here?
Yeah, like the German Shepherd.
Okay.
The German Shepherd, they could cost you easily $1,000.
Okay. Like
The local
40,
breed,
50,000
yeah,
pesos.
yes.
Okay.
Or a very good Siberian would cost you a lot of money.
Mm.
But again, there are breeders who can command those kind of prices,
Yes.
but there are breeders who cannot.
Based on the line.
On their line and
the,
how they quality of the dogs.
Quality of the dogs, yes. Okay, but okay, let's say for lay people, when they go to a pet shop, let's say if they really have to buy from this pet shop, let's say they fell in love with a dog, what are the things that they should look for when they see a dog? Let's say ocular inspection of the animal. What are the things that they should look for?
Number one, I think the health is very important, above all.
Okay.
You should look at the eyes. It should be clear, bright. The nose should be, should be a bit damp. Hindi naman hindi pwedeng too dry.
Okay.
When it's dry, they're sick.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
dry doesn't mean good.
Okay.
And then look at the color of the skin in the tummy.
Yes, at the tummy.
Yeah, kasi pag may sakit yan, you can see it.
Okay.
They turn reddish or yellowish. Look at the stools, if possible.
Okay.
That's very important.
Okay.
And let them eat and look at the appetite of the puppy.
And that's the problem with dogs, no? Because even if all of that looks okay,
Yes.
depending on the line, the dog could have, could be carrying a certain
Genetic problem, like skin problems. Skin problem, they found out that some dogs have heart problems.
Yes. Oh.
Or elbow problem, hip problem. Unfortunately, these signs will not manifest at a young age.
Until they're full
Until
grown.
they're a bit older.
Yes.
And what you need to do is, as I've said, if you talk to a reputable breeder, they will tell you what problem to expect in these lines. That's one thing you cannot get in a pet shop.
Okay. Okay.
I believe any reputable breeder will tell you that, our lines, like we have cataract problems on this breed, you might want to be careful on it.
Yes.
That's one thing you cannot get in a pet shop.
Yes. Now, does PCCI, can people approach PCCI and people are interested to have dogs and they want to learn more about certain breeds and they want to get in touch, especially with breeders?
Yes.
People can approach PCCI.
Actually,
and ask for
PCCI, in
advice.
PCCI, we have a library that you could do some research. We have books there on the certain breeds you're interested in.
Okay.
We even have some videos for you to look at. And if you're really interested in buying a good puppy, we will give you a list of reputable breeders.
Very good. Very good. All this research is so important. As you said, when you get a dog, it's like having a child.
Yes.
And to treat a dog less than that is cruel.
That's cruel.
Unfortunately, a lot of people, they buy a dog and they just expect it to, like a plant. You leave it in one,
leave it there.
and it takes care of itself. No, it's not like that. No, I guess if people are like that, the mindset is like that. They're better off with cats. No.
Yeah.
Cats are less.
But I heard
less
that cats
high
are also
maintenance,
having a lot of the cat people, when they buy cats without
Yeah.
enough knowledge, they have problem also.
No, but in terms of the maintenance of a cat,
It's easier.
it's easier.
You just leave them.
Leave them.
They
Litter
clean
box,
themselves.
food, water. That's it. No.
Yes.
Dog. The problem with the dog is it really needs
Attention,
time, and then exercise and all that.
You need to sacrifice your own time for the dogs.
It really
Socialize
it is a
them.
commitment,
Yes,
a
it is a
long-term
commitment.
commitment. Yes, yes. Now, in terms of medical, how do people? Because part and parcel of having a dog is medical care.
Yes.
Now, there's so many medical clinics around town. What advice could you give to people who are looking for a good medical clinic?
I think one of the aspects you have to look into, to consider, is the facilities of the clinic. Number two, you could ask people. Basically it's by mouth. It's by mouth. People will talk about this certain vet, how good they are, or if you know of a breeder, you can ask them kung sino yung vet maintaining the kennel.
Yes, yes.
I think that would be the best.
Yes, because as I said, there's so many options now, so many clinics around,
Yes.
and it's hard to find really to know for certain which is the right kennel or right
Creek Clinic.
vet
Yes.
clinic for me to bring my dog to.
Yes.
Okay, what about training? How important is dog training? Getting someone to train your dogs. Can owners do this for themselves, or would you recommend that they actually get a professional to teach their dogs?
Training is very important because it's like disciplining a child. It's how you, in fact, a well-trained dog, it's like a well-disciplined child. It gives you less headache. You can train a dog in where they will do their stuff, or you can train a dog to behave when you have visitors. Those are the things you need to go into.
But sadly, do you agree that this is another area that's often overlooked by dog owners, the training aspect? Maybe some of them, especially those who just leave the dogs and just take them out
Yes.
once for a walk and that's it, and back in the cage. The training
A lot
aspect.
of people just leave it there.
Yeah.
They expect the dog to learn by themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
But in our personal experience, if you communicate with the dog on a regular basis, you talk to them like you talk to people, they eventually understand what you want them to do.
Yes.
A little disciplining, and you'll be surprised that after a few weeks of constant communication, they seem to adapt.
Parang
They seem
bata,
to
like a
follow,
child,
yes.
really like a child. No?
Yes.
No. Would you recommend professional training? It depends on, I guess it
Depends
depends on what
on-
you want from the dog.
I think it depends on what you want on the dog. If you want to participate in those events, you might need somebody if you don't have the time. But there are classes now that the people actually teach the owners to train their dogs.
But again, back the same problem. A lot of people would probably want to look for a dog trainer,
Yes.
but there's, again, so many offering their services. You go to the internet, you Google,
Yes.
so many, and again, finding the right one. And I guess not all are as good. I mean, there are dog trainers, and there are dog trainers.
Yes,
maybe.
that's true.
Can PCCI also? Do you guys have a list of
Yes, we have.
accredited dog trainers?
We have. We require most of the dog trainers to be members of the PCCI, and these are the people you see handling dogs in the dog shows, or showing the dogs in obedience trials, and we would recommend them to you.
Do you guys accredit the dog trainers as
We
well?
don't really accredit, but they have a club, and the club is affiliated with us, and
Okay.
they have to be members of the club.
What is the name of the club? I mean, for those who are interested, maybe
It's
want
a
to Google
Philippine
them.
Canine Trainers Council.
Okay, okay. And so they have their own standards and their own, I guess, requirements.
Yeah, they have their own requirements to be members, and all of them need to be members of the PCCI.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. A lot of information, Mr. Sim. We have one more segment to go, and
Okay.
then we're going to be talking about more of training, and then of course your event that's happening as we speak
Yes.
right now. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
guys, don't go away because more of Muscle of Dogs and PCCI when Philippines Uncut returns.